Hello and welcome to the Death Battle Cast. I'm Ben. I'm joined by Liam, Chad, Nick, and Sam. We got a full crew today.
Yeah.
A good amount of people. Because we have a very
Interesting.
I don't know how this is gonna go.
A lot to talk about.
kind of show.
Yeah, a lot to talk about.
I gotta pull the chat.
Yeah, we have a different kind of subject to talk about today. We are not doing a typical community death battle, but we are doing a community death battle of sorts. You will be voting at the end of the show, not for who would win in a fight, but who's the weirdest Star Wars character ever.
Cringe battle.
Yes, it's cringe battle. It's community cringe battle. Yes, that is right. Today we are going to be going through the entire history of Star Wars to determine who is the best or worst Glup Shido. If you know what that is, thank you for being here. We've also got some other stuff.
You're not going to explain it?
About.
You're just going to drop this weird word that most of us don't know and just be like,
if you don't know what a Glup Shido is, you need to look it up.
It's just a meme.
How do you even spell it? How am I supposed to look it up?
Literally, how do you think Glup Shido is spelled?
It's G-L-U-P,
just move on.
2 T's.
It's just a Twitter meme for like whenever a Star Wars character is introduced, and all the fans are like, "Oh my god, it's Glup Shido!" You know, and like no one else knows what the fuck they're talking about. Like it just sounds like Glup Shido, right? That's the joke. Is that
got it?
So it's just a fucking random ass Star Wars.
Every character has a name, even the characters that don't need it.
Yeah,
including one of the ones we're going to be talking about, Elon Sleaze Begano.
Yeah, it's a classic. That's the one that got us started on this tangent.
I think that might be the one that I don't think he's canonically anymore. Canonically, that's the word.
Canonly.
But
Change his name ever so
but
slightly.
Best adverb.
We'll get to it. So here's we also later on in the show do have a little bit of the upcoming death battle to show you guys. You got a sneak peek of Hercules versus Sun Wukong, the Monkey King. Very excited to show you guys what we've been working on with this episode. There's also a couple things I want to talk about it, clarifying what what we're doing with the episode, because we are sort of in uncharted territory with this kind of matchup. But it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good episode, I think. I've been having a great time putting it together, and the animation team has been killing it for the fight. So very excited to share that with you guys. All right, so here's how this is gonna work. Instead of us doing our typical back and forth between two of us for one character, we're all going to be talking about our favorite or least favorite weird Star Wars characters, specifically weird Star Wars characters. We're not getting into like the debates of like, oh, such and such character's the worst or whatever. No. We're here to have fun with the weird ass characters. All right.
They're gonna fucking bring this toxicity into this nice little oasis on the internet. This is a nice little oasis.
If you need to know what kind of characters we're talking about, we'll get to it to give a very good example early on. I mean, Elon Sleaze Begano, the Death Sticks guy, is a great example.
I want some Death Sticks.
How many George Lucas
a character arc? We'll get to it.
Yeah, he does.
How many George Lucas self-inserts have there been in 40 years? That's a question I'm hoping we can answer.
Does he I don't think he self-inserts a lot, does he?
I don't think he does.
No, he's very conservative about that.
Well, see,
there was a rumor that
funny
Dexter
you say
Jester
that.
was a self-insert.
It's funny you say that,
that's
because I
true.
actually looked into this a little bit, but I can save this character suggestion for the actual discussion.
Let's save that for just a little bit, because I do need to finish explaining how we're going to do this. All right, so we have also gotten some suggestions from you guys. So we're going to be presenting some ideas for characters. You guys will also be presenting ideas for characters. We are also looking at the chat. If you are in the chat right now watching this live on Tuesday, 3 p.m. Central, thank you for joining us. See a lot of awesome bronze, black, and red badges in the chat from our members. This is awesome to see. If we miss a character, or if there's a character that you guys want us to talk about or bring up, or if you know something about a character that we haven't mentioned yet, some like crazy history about one of the weird huts or whatever we're about to talk about, we'd love to hear about it.
Multiple.
There's a lot of strange hut characters.
Yeah.
And just the hut concept in general is already strange enough.
Jabba the Hutt, Abba the Hutt, Habba the Hutt.
Yeah. Pizza the Hut. So
Pizza the Hut, yeah.
Pizza the Hut. So go ahead and let us know. And then at the end of the show, we will have picked out four characters that will be the contenders for the weirdest Star Wars character ever, and you guys will get to vote on that to decide which one should take the title. Okay, so I think the first one we should talk about. Let's go ahead and talk about Elon Sleazebagano. He's I think he's an easy one to start off with, right?
Yeah.
Elon Sleazebagano, who is no longer called that, right?
And it's for those wondering, it's not like Elon Musk, it's ELAN.
It might be Elan.
Totally
it's
different.
obviously never been stated. It's obviously
Could be Ellen.
right. Guidebook.
Could be Ellen.
Sleazebagano.
Sleazebagano. Like sleaze bag. In case you didn't quite catch that one.
Yes.
Because he's a drug dealer.
Oh, okay. His name has been changed, but it's still Sleaze. It sells what?
Sells
Elan sells Sabag.
They try to keep it the same, but also change it. Yeah, it's.
You never
stupid.
go back on when an artist like George Lucas names a fucking character. You don't undo his work. That's erasing the fucking Sistine Chapel. What do you?
That is Sleazebagano erasure, and I will not. stand
exactly.
For it.
Yeah, it's a proud name.
Obviously, he's always known what he was doing
Ancestors
as he was making these things.
The Sleazebaganos came to here on Ellis Island, and they got their fucking name erased. It's bullshit. God damn it.
Restore the Sleazebagano name.
Oh my god.
So Sleazebagano is, of course, he is the guy in Attack of the Clones who Obi-Wan orders mind tricks to go home and rethink his life. Here's the thing. He does. He makes another appearance. I think it's in a comic book later on where he has become a family man.
Yes. Does he still have the furry sideburns? That's what he looks like.
I assume so. I don't remember what he looks like in it.
I could be completely
they
wrong.
Made him look pretty much identical. But that is the story of Elon Sleazebagano. He was a death stick salesman. Death sticks literally are sticks that kill you if you smoke too much of them, I guess. Obi-Wan casually. No, I mean, like, I think it's like, I think you have a chance of actually dying.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan casually just waves him away, and it completely changes this guy's entire life.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And the Force that's powerful, right? Like, he really did, like, completely alter this man's mindset with just a little...
I've never even thought about how helpful that would be. Man, like, the Jedi can really do some work on addiction. Like,
Like, let go of the shame from your childhood.
Yeah, sick therapist. Exactly. Like, you're like, I have anxiety. Don't have anxiety. Like, shit.
This is wonderful.
Oh my god.
Man, if only they could recognize it, right? Like, if only when, one of them comes in front of Yoda and it's like, Yoda, I'm having like a really bad time. If only he'd just be like, Anakin, just calm down.
Yeah.
Instead of being like,
chill the
no,
fuck
Anakin.
out, bro.
I'm not going to help you at all.
Devil's advocate a little bit here. Is Sleazebagano the weird one? Or is the weird one the random dude who just, like, sat down next to a guy in a bar and changed his life by, like, waving his fingers and saying a magic spell or whatever? What's weirder here, really?
That's true. From Elon Sleazebagano's perspective, yeah.
They went into a sleazy bar, and this man was just trying to operate a business. We don't even know if it's... Like, and honestly,
we don't know if
he's an entrepreneur.
For that planet, we don't know the laws.
I know the laws, yeah.
He might have been well within his rights as a citizen to be selling these things. And then Obi-Wan just like, here's your successful business, go away.
I'm going to look up Coruscant law.
Very authoritarian of Obi-Wan to, like, forcibly mind control someone without their consent.
Was it on Coruscant? It was.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
It was in episode 2. I'm not super familiar with the prequels, but I do remember that.
We all fucking laughed. We all just
Coruscant
laughed
law.
and laughed. Yeah.
Coruscant law. I'll let you know what I find. There's
I have a
big old
feeling-
Wikipedia page.
The
The intro paragraph
feeling
before the
find it.
table of contents is
I'm
like
on
3
Wikipedia.
pages long.
I'm on the death sticks page. I'm going to look up illegal. It is not illegal. The word illegal is not on the Wikipedia page for death sticks everywhere, so I have to assume that it is just legal.
Well, hold on. Does the word legal show up? Because it might say not legal.
Oh, shoot.
It's true.
You know what? I already closed the tab.
We're just
done.
gonna
It's
believe
lost
it's
to
I
legal.
just have to
Already
assume that it's
stopped.
legal.
I've already
It's lost
stopped
to
caring
time.
about the bit.
This is
Sleazebagano is. I'm going to say. Sorry, Sam. Sleazebagano is not necessarily the weirdest one. We've got a lot weirder characters.
I don't know. I want to
It's
go
just
next.
the name.
But, like,
Well, let's go ahead and bring up one of I think the big ones first. But Sam, what did you want to cover?
Yeah.
I was just gonna say it is like another weird choice of George's is like also you have a place like Coruscant, and then I can't remember the name of it, but like the planet Leia comes from is like a monarchy.
Alderaan.
It's just Alderaan. It's just so weird. Like, why are there kings and like, and especially Leia's
don't worry, it's not there anymore.
is like yes. But he's like a old school like medieval king with a crown, right?
Yeah,
like he's like
right.
It's like what?
Yeah.
Why is this?
It's
planet
another
here?
planet.
Yeah.
It's
Padme is
the
elected
monarchy.
queen of Naboo, the whole fucking planet, at the age of 14.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Gungans are just okay with that, right? They're just like
The government's just okay with it. Also, Naboo
Yeah.
is supposed to be one of the most peaceful, like,
perfect
utopia
little
planets.
Yeah.
Also,
Which
Alderaan
is
is supposed to be the planet that like solved every problem in the universe,
Except for
literally
not being fucking blown up.
except for the
right,
crisis
but like
that.
like
and that.
it
hard
was
one to
introduced to us in A
overcome.
New Hope as a planet that has no
utopia.
weapons, it has no crime.
That's why.
Like it's the perfect place. It's a utopia, but it's ruled by a monarchy. So I don't know, whatever.
It's
Well, I guess
a king, so it's all good.
Yeah, George, what are you saying there?
I mean,
Anyways,
the prequels are, if you really get into it, they're a little
Bad?
get into like it. George tried to put in a little bit of like anti-Bush era into the prequels.
Yeah.
It's not super obvious, I don't think. I don't know. It depends what you're looking for. So maybe he's saying something. Maybe he's been saying something the whole time. With
I mean, the original Star Wars are like a Vietnam kind of thing. I mean, there's anti-Vietnam commentary in them, right?
Yeah.
Like the rebels versus the big empire, and that came out right around that time. And he's even confirmed that in an interview. In case somebody
Didn't he also go
comments,
back
it's
and take
like, no, it's
guns
not.
out of ET or something?
yeah, he
Can't
took
remember.
guns out of ET.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, he
Okay,
took the
whatever.
shotguns out of the cop's
All right.
hands and replaced them with
ET's in
walkie-talkies.
Phantom Menace.
Back to the
Commonly
weird
known
fun
fact.
stuff. Yes, one of the weird characters would be the ET is canon to Star Wars. Apparently, there are 3 ET aliens in the Senate. Also, like ET, not wearing any clothes. I think they're like the only aliens who don't wear clothes in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, they're
See,
naked.
now
as
that's
fuck.
the planet that's got it figured out. Like they're just
Right?
like we're
I
real
agree.
comfortable, man.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh
We
no
already
no no
look
no!
like giant fucking.
This
They're not.
that planet does not have it figured out. You want to know why? Because if you go to Universal Studios Orlando, there's an ET ride. It starts off just like the ET movie, whimsical, riding a bike, you fly over the moon or whatever. That ride takes a left turn, let me tell you. If you ever wanted to know what it's like to do drugs, I've never done them, but I think it's kind of like riding the ET ride. It just becomes a musical. There's like neon mushrooms
so
singing
like-
songs and stuff.
So like,
I'm sorry,
And then
but
the
what?
ride just kind of abruptly ends. There's like
telling me
no transition really between, like, you're just suddenly on ET's planet.
So
Anybody in the
People wear
chat,
clothes, though.
any
all
trees
that
in the
sounded
chat.
rad. I'm not.
Yeah.
Well,
It
oh,
sounds
no,
like
this
you're
is an
telling me to
endorsement,
talk
but,
acid and
like-
do the AT ride is what I'm hearing a lot of. I'm hearing a
They're
lot.
just
Speaking
naked and
of-
tripping balls 24/7.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
Speaking-
tangenting. Go Ben.
Yeah.
Go.
Speaking of doing drugs, if you want to feel like you're on drugs without taking one, you don't go to Sleaze Begano. You actually read a little book that's about the father of Jar Jar Binks.
Oh yes.
Liam, do you remember how this one goes?
Yeah, I do. I read this
Papa
comic.
Binks?
It was Tales of the Jedi. Papa Binks. This is the story of Jar Jar Binks and his father and his mother. His father is, I believe, he is like a renowned
Whoa!
sailor. Yeah.
Yeah.
there
Oh
we
my
go.
god!
A renowned sailor, kind of a Moby Dick looking motherfucker. And yeah, that was my this image of George on the right here was my avatar on Slack for a while.
His name is George R. Banks.
George R.
which
Binks.
is-
Yes.
which is pretty rough.
Liam,
And,
if I
and-
paid for it, would you get that tattooed on you?
No, I would.
Yeah.
I would not get it tattooed.
Which
but I
one?
would do other
Do
things
it.
with it. Yeah,
You know which one.
obviously the second one.
Hell,
I would do this as a
both.
costume though. Like have it like
Both are
have it
fucking
like
radical.
paper mache like glued. Have the gun glued to like my head and like the tear coming down. Yeah, that would be a really good costume. So he and Jar Jar and Jar Jar's mom, whose name is stupid, I don't remember. They get marooned on an island.
Mama
and,
Binks.
And over the course of the adventure, Jar Jar, like George is trying to use all of his know-how to get them found safely, and Jar Jar keeps fucking it up. And eventually, it's revealed that George was actually in love with a different Gungan woman. He was deeply, madly in love with her, and the wife knows this, and the wife knows that he settled for his wife because she could actually bear him children, and the woman that he loved would not, either was incapable or would not have children, and he wanted kids. So he settled for his current wife, and which is a very kind of like Edward Albee-esque, like long simmering quiet tragedy of the family. And as a result of him not choosing the life he wanted, he got Jar Binks. And I think it's right after he really thinks about this, he takes a gun and tries to kill himself. And fails. And I think just the story kind of ends there with him like weeping on the beach, like after his failed suicide attempt. I think that's it's great. It's a great comic.
It sounds like I'm sorry, William in the chat cracking me up. He says pick number 2 is when you said not the papa. Oh my god.
Also, you know what I always think about when I hear stories like that is like who wrote that? And if you look at this person and then you're like imagine that it's a guy who wrote this and he's married to a woman and they have a child together.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do? And it's just like, I wrote this thing for Star Wars, and she's like, oh, let me read it. And then there's got to be a moment where you're like, what? Are you trying to say something?
Too shy in the chat is right. I do have a price. I just have to name it. It's too high for Chad though.
Real talk. What is your price for that tattoo?
How much would I actually genuinely pay?
Sam's favorite
allow
game.
that? Can I pick where on my body it is? Or,
yeah, of course you can.
For sure.
I mean, I guess
Your
like
body.
it'd be a higher price, right? It'd be a higher price if Chad was allowed to pick it. I'm
opening up
angling
GoFundMe right now.
towards like.
Just let me fill out a couple fields.
I'm gonna say, 5 million. I think.
Oh, what
the fuck
I
is
think
wrong
I'm
with
it's
you?
okay.
I think I'm gonna
It's
say
okay.
that.
Like
I think I'm gonna say that.
Nick said, we'll set up the GoFundMe.
Yeah.
And,
If you get me to
we'll
5
make
million,
enough.
I will do it.
Genuinely, you think your fucking ankle skin is so important you wouldn't take $5,000? Like,
Yeah.
fuck,
I don't
dude?
want that on my body. Like my body is a temple. God damn it.
No, it's not.
And no, I just don't like tattoo. I would never get a tattoo, but I would for that much money. I would absolutely for that.
Really?
Which
If-
made
I mean,
causes
that's
in the
like,
world.
you're
Would
a
I
fucking
really say-
liar too, because
No,
like
'cause
if
the
you saw
question is-
a stack
go
of
on.
50 grand on the fucking table, you'd be like, yeah, I need that.
Can
Like,
I get it
fuck
removed?
Like,
Can I get the tattoo removed?
There would
probably
probably be a
shouldn't.
stipulation of an amount
It's
of
your
time it had to
body.
reside
Yeah,
on your
right,
body.
yeah.
right. That's the
I
point.
would
Like,
I would
no,
put it
I
on
would
my
not.
ankle for 50 grand.
I
For
would-
sure.
I'd do
a
that.
heartbeat.
Yeah.
50 grand.
It's just a conversation
Yeah.
starter. People are like, what? Is that Jar Binks?
You
No,
know,
actually.
I guess
A funny
I
story.
guess-
With a gun to
it's like
It is on my ankle.
George Binks.
It is on
All
my
right.
ankle. No,
All
but
right,
it
Do
would
it.
be like,
I'm thinking about. I would do it for 1,500.
As-
Low, dog.
that's sad, dude. That's
Wow.
I mean, I'll cover it up in like 3 years. I don't give a shit. Like,
yeah, you can put something
fine.
else over it. all right. We need to get to some other characters. We actually have some characters from you guys. Let's go ahead and bring up one of the community responses. It'll really be anyone, Brian. Just pick one at this point.
Somebody just started a poll.
All right.
Mr. Emma Garcia, I would say, I don't even.
Please, Chad. Please read this guy's name.
Why did I start this?
How to drop a taket sapta recti nick linket tikin vef nix
Nick
nezef lickek.
It
Sure.
sounds like when
Would
the
be a good
speak and
pick.
spell is bugging out. Like,
But I'm biased
Dude,
since
I
I like
love
his
his
design and
face.
name.
I love his face. That's the
That guy can scream. Like
Yeah.
that
I
guy's
believe
like
this guy shows
60% mouth.
I
Like
believe this guy shows up in Rogue One.
Yeah,
It's
he's
one of
definitely
the
like some guy that, like the
troops on the
camera
ground.
pans on him for 1 second. He's like, and then he gets blown up or something.
he looks like a goon that the Ninja Turtles would beat up. Like,
yeah,
he
for
looks,
sure.
He looks like a
Kinda
Goomba
does.
from the Super Mario Brothers movie that went to
Yeah.
war, man.
yeah.
Just with a
I
bigger
mean,
head.
Guys, I'm sorry. Nuggy Boy in the chat says I'd do it for $5 and a McChicken. All right.
Yeah. A lot of people are fucking in.
All right, it's $5 in a McChicken. The GoFundMe.com.
okay. Well, now that we have 3 characters on the board, be thinking about which one you think should be in the running for the weirdest character of all time at the end here. In the meantime, I do want to talk about our sponsor for this week, Blue Chew. This episode is sponsored by Blue Chew. Feeling confident can take you far in life, especially when it's time to step up to the plate. That's where Blue Chew comes in. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but as a chewable tablet and at a fraction of the cost. Process is simple. Just sign up at bluechew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. And it's all done online, so no doctor's office, no awkward conversations, and no going to the pharmacy. So, if you could benefit from extra confidence when it's time to perform, Blue Chew can help. And we've got a special deal for you watching right now or listening right now. Try Blue Chew free when you use our promo code DBC at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. That's bluechew.com, promo code DBC to receive your first month free. Visit bluechew.com for more details and important safety information. Thank you, Blue Chew, for sponsoring this podcast. All right, we can get back to our crazy discussion.
I did want to hit some up quick because it's fun now that we have a chat, and I was curious. Brian, I sent you a picture of him, but y'all probably remind him. He's slightly fish-like co-pilot of the Millennium Falcon whenever Lando Calrissian is driving it. Yeah, Neenum, right? Okay, so I don't think he's super weird, but like when I was looking for weird characters, I found a weird Star Wars fact that apparently George asked the actor to just like say alien shit, and his native language is Kenyan, so he just hit him with some like just random Kenyan stuff, which has made Return of the Jedi like a cult like viewing thing. Like people go to theaters to go see it because of him in Kenya, and I was like, I found it on multiple websites, but none of them with like legitimate sources or anything. And I was just like really curious if anyone knew that was actually a thing. And now we have a live chat, so it's like it'd be fun to bring this up.
So interesting.
It's such like a weird little Star Wars fact.
I wonder.
Yeah, well,
one of his
he
popular
does have
quotes,
a couple shots.
Yeah, he has his big one, I guess, is 1,000 herds of elephants are standing on my foot. Is like the big one he says.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, and then he comes back in one of the sequel movies. I don't remember if he says anything, but maybe would be why they brought him back. That would explain a lot of things, actually, why they'd be like,
that's really interesting.
Yeah,
I
just thought it was a cool little like factoid, and I didn't know if it was like true. So maybe so.
Real quick, I do want to say the poll wrapped up, and 71% of you would be willing to get George R. Binks tattooed on you for $50K. So good to know.
The thing is, guys,
or $5
it's not
and a big
about
chicken.
it's not about how much I would receive. It's not about how much I would be paid for it. It's about how much I could get them to pay me to get a tattoo of George R. Binks.
You're just trying to mind game the system.
Yeah, exactly. I want.
Right,
I had a simple question.
I do
we need to move on.
not a tattoo.
Yeah, I do want to talk about a couple other characters. So, Brian, can we go ahead and bring up
the best one sitting right here? Right, it's coming.
There's a community post about a submission about Gracchus, I believe. Gracchus the Hutt.
Gracchus the Hutt, the one that while everyone else in his family was giving up to debauchery, he took the time to get jacked.
He looks like a Goron.
He does.
There are, actually he does. There
He's
are
really
a couple.
Play him Sorry
jacked.
song and see if he starts dancing. Sorry.
Hutts in Star Wars.
Buff Hutts.
Probably the one that is the most ridiculous looking is Ryan. I'm going to send you this. If I can find a decent size image of it. Boku the Hutt. Boku the Hutt has a legitimate six pack.
I think it's a few more than that.
Oh yeah, it's more than 6-pack. I think.
It's a 10.
Oh yeah, actually, because it continues down his like body or whatever, the whole slug body. So it gets ridiculous. Here we go.
Yeah, it's like the horse mural painted on the Marcus Marauder gym. Sorry, that's only for Ben and Nick. Sorry.
Yeah. But there's also a Jedi.
I don't get it.
Or a dark Jedi Hutt. I can't remember exactly what his name is. Yeah, this guy.
There he is.
Is he doing that to Darth Vader?
Dang.
I don't know why Darth Vader's there. This is a different panel, I believe. He fought Darth Vader, basically. Darth Vader ends up killing him, I believe.
Oh,
He's
my
commanding
God.
Darth
You said
Vader
he
to
fucked Darth
fire.
Vader. I literally thought you said he fought Darth Vader, right?
Yes.
I thought you
Liam.
I
said
think he
he
betrayed
fucked
Darth
Darth Vader.
No, he didn't. Yeah, he
Um,
blasts Darth Vader with like a ship from a laser. Is what happens there,
Yeah.
I believe.
Okay.
So there are a couple buff Hutts because I guess apparently Hutts used to be like that until they all got lazy and fat.
As a species?
Yeah. So buff Hutts, I think by itself could be just a subject for this. Because they're all weird looking. And Hutts are already really weird looking. But
I feel like this is like one of those memes where you see on like Instagram or whatever, where they're like, whether you like it or not, this is the peak like male body, right?
Yeah.
It's just like Bucky the Hutt, right? Like,
Women only
You
want
don't have to
one
like
thing
it, but
and
this
it's
is
disgusting.
masculinity.
yeah, this is
Whatever.
peak Hutt. Yeah.
I kind of don't like that there are so many Hutts. I kind of like that Jabba was like his own unique design, and it was like, oh, look how fucking cool Jabba looks. Like, look how unique this is. And then they just had to go and make like a race of them. And I always felt that was sort of like one of the symptoms of Star Wars. They kind of had to like be like,
Well,
this
it's
cool
like-
thing.
I mean,
We're making it for $1 million, milk.
It would be weird to
too
just
much
have
noise.
one of
What? Yeah,
any race or
No, I know,
created
but
by
like,
God? Like,
it's not like it's not literally the bio. It's just like the fact that they always keep including Hutts in stories, right? Like it's still a writer's
I
choice
kind of
to
agree with you.
include them, you know.
Actually, as a kid, when I was first reading about it, like they talk about in old Legends material the like Hutt crime syndicate, right?
Yeah.
And when I first read that, I didn't imagine that it was literally run by Hutts.
Yeah, that's everything. in Star
I
Wars,
imagined
yeah.
it was a bunch of different people who run it, and they come from Nalhutta, which is the planet that Jabba's from, right? And I was like, okay, it's just based off Nalhutta. Their leader was Jabba or some other Hutt, but there's a bunch of people. But no, in both Legends and current canon, it's just run by Hutts.
It's
which
a
is a
race
little
of
weird to
slug
me,
gangsters.
but-
It's like pick one. They're either a race of slug people or they're a race of like gangsters. It's like I don't know. This is not Tolkien world building here. This is not.
It's just weird to me that like I guess nobody else was able to rise up through the ranks. in
right.
this- Like, why would you ever work for this criminal empire? Like, they clearly don't care about you.
They're clearly incredibly racist.
They're
Like,
super
yeah.
xenophobic.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
Nepotism is
xenophobic?
incredibly important.
Yeah.
I can't
Um,
stand these Hutt supremacists.
These fucking.
Oh Jesus! All right, we're gonna move on.
I shouldn't have said that. Should not have said that.
We're gonna move on. I do want to do a special shout out. Well, actually, let me get to a special shout out to a couple just names. These aren't necessarily weird characters, but they are weird names. Dr. Mandible is literally just a bug man in The Mandalorian, I think season 2, who's just a bug man, and they just call him Dr. Mandible, and that's it. That's all it is.
I just appreciate he has a doctorate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I haven't looked into this, but I assume they made up the name on the spot.
Oh, really? Yeah. You don't
He's
think
just
there's a
an
lot
ant. Like he's specifically an ant. I'm looking at a picture of him right now.
Yeah, he's like a giant ant. Look up Dr. Mandible. It's really funny. Another one is Therm Scissor Punch, who is a lobster man who insists that you call him Scissor Punch, and if you don't, he will punch you.
With his
That is
scissor
his
hands.
story.
Can I
Yes.
add two almost names? These names were almost Star Wars characters, and it had to do with the creation of the Force Awakens. Oh no, Force Unleashed, the video game. Originally they pitched it, they were like, okay, it's gonna be about like Darth Vader's secret apprentice. Ooh. And they were going to get approval from George himself, because this was back when George was still head honcho. And they said, do you like this idea? He's like, yes, but he either has to be named, and I'm not making this up, he either has to be named Darth Insanius or Darth Icky.
It is I, Darth Icky.
I forget the rest of the story,
Tremble.
how they were able to like weasel their way out of naming him Darth Insanius or Darth Icky, but they did manage to. But George was very insistent about it. He was like, it's gonna be fucking that, and he was dead serious about it too. I don't know.
With the Force, I will make you slightly uncomfortable
I don't-
and
I mean-
sticky.
I mean,
I don't understand George.
Darth Insanius is not.
that one
Darth
sounds
Sidious
believable.
is pretty close to that.
Darth
Like,
Sidious
I've
is
always
pretty
thought
close.
Darth Sidious
Yeah.
is a really stupid name.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
I
General
mean, and of
Grievous?
course General Grievous, right? I'm surprised they didn't save Grievous for a Sith Lord, right? Darth
Yeah, yeah.
Grievous is totally a
Darth
Sith Lord name,
Millennial.
right?
Sure.
Can
It
we-
is.
Avocado toast.
Can we very briefly touch on Therm Scissor Punch for 2 more seconds? 'Cause I'm looking at his
Did you find
fandom.
something?
About him, yeah. I want to paint you guys a picture. It's 2018. You're sitting down at Denny's, you're ordering yourself a Grand Slam
Yeah.
because you saw a commercial for Solo a Star Wars Story and their like Denny's promotion. And in that commercial, that was when you were among the first in the world to lay eyes on Therm Scissor Punch. His debut was in a Denny's commercial.
Are you serious?
Yes. He was later identified by name in a Denny's exclusive Topps trading card for Solo.
I legitimately was like, where's
did
Nick
not know
going
that.
for this, and why did he not choose Red Lobster for the restaurant? And then, bravo.
Yeah. Okay.
Just thought that was worth
Wow.
bringing up. That's pretty
Hell
weird.
yeah.
That's pretty weird. Denny's commercial that they made canon to Star Wars.
Okay. Well, on
great,
that
right?
note, I think now's a good time to take a quick break from all the crazy characters. We'll get back to it. There's some even
Yeah, we
crazier
will.
ones I think
Yeah,
we
we
need
will.
to cover. But I'd like to talk about what is going on. With the upcoming death battle, Hercules versus Sun Wukong. So the previews of the rundowns have been released already. I've been very excited to share this episode with you guys, but we do have a sneak peek of the battle to show off.
Whoa.
Let's go ahead and just get into it, guys.
Fuck yeah.
Our tale begins atop a great mountain where the mighty Hercules sought a gift from the gods.
Oh there!
Huh?
I'm in need of that apple. Relinquish it.
Sorry, I'm supposed to find my master some vegetarian food.
You'll find it elsewhere.
But Hercules was not so easily fooled. The Monkey King's strike rang true, but he'd not so easily overwhelm the god of strength.
Dude, that art style is
Okay.
so cool.
It's
Yeah,
so
it's like
beautiful.
the inky black on.
I
all
love
the-
that Street Fighter
long strikes.
4. It's so
Yeah.
great.
It's like I'm watching a scroll fight. I love it.
Exactly. That was our idea. Is that we're
It's
using
like
the
they're
scroll
really
as like
there.
a window into the fight, right?
Yeah.
So we've got plenty more surprises coming up in the fight. But man, Luis, Zach, Gus, the animation team on this did such a phenomenal job. I'm so impressed with them. We this was definitely a sort of episode that like we went into it having an idea or a couple different ideas of how to like make it look and what we wanted to do with it. And there was a lot of like figuring things out and trial and error, like trying to like nail down the exact look we wanted. But everybody working on it from the research to writing to animation, everybody really came together with this like collective vision and it really just clicked pretty well, which was impressive to me.
Yeah.
Also, quick shout out to, of course, Blythe Milling and Alex Mai as the voices of Hercules and Sun Wukong. And our own Christian Young is the narrator. We kind of came up with that one pretty early on where we were like, what if it's like a fight is being told orally? And so we kind of went back and forth on how much the narrator would be involved. But well, you'll see in the final episode. So that is coming out this weekend or next week, Sunday, the 19th for first members on Rooster Teeth, and on the 20th, that Monday, for YouTube. Now, I did want to mention something real quick. Because these are characters that are closely tied to religions, serious talk time, okay? I have seen some people kind of like uncertain about how we're going to address this. And I did want to make sure to be clear about this. We are not analyzing or dissecting the religions that are associated with these characters. It's not a part of the episode. We are looking at the stories that these characters are from, right? So, all right. So I hope you guys enjoy the episode when it comes out. It's gonna be a lot of fun. All right, let's get back to the community death battle. All right.
Can we briefly touch on Yaddle?
talk about
Yaddle.
Yaddle.
What do you want to talk about with Yaddle?
Yaddle the paddle.
Yaddle is just weird because for those who don't know, Yaddle's I think this is in the Phantom Menace is the first time you see her. They're just like, we need a Lady Yoda, and so we've got Yaddle, which is just another
Yaddle.
It's Yaddle.
Okay.
It's just another old green person sitting there, and to me, I still think because like if you in your life, not as a human but in a space world, had only met 2 humans, and then one day you stumbled upon a baby human, you'd be like, I think I know who did this.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying they boinked. Which is fine. I mean, they're both in their hundreds. They're well
centuries old
past their
frogs.
consensual ages.
What
Like
the fuck is,
yeah. Although actually Yoda is hundreds of years older, but I think after you pass like 100,
whatever.
Half your age plus 700. Isn't that the saying?
But I will say,
exactly.
Yaddle being a weird character and maybe a strange decision, and also Grogu's mom, is one of the only Jedi we know of that practices the Jedi art of Morichiro, which is kind of cool. She just slows down their internal workings until they die, which is weird.
Like she just like looks at you and you like your like liver fails.
Yeah,
and then you just oh, that sucks.
It's okay. Morichiro is an ancient Jedi art that allows users to rapidly slow down the bodily functions of their opponents to the point of death.
That's busted. That's just
crazy. How long does it take?
It's busted.
I don't know, but also I wonder if she's like, "Oh no, I need a pee. Slow that down." It's really useful. It could be great.
And she taught it to Yoda, man. He could just forever. Oh, I guess she didn't have to teach it. She could,
Maybe that's why they're so old. It might actually be why they're so old.
Hey.
Maybe.
That's how you get Grogu.
So Yaddle used to have a canon death in Legends, but I think in the new canon they have not even like touched her. They haven't done anything with her. So
well, Yoda might have.
I was thinking about it.
Sorry, Sam literally brought this up just to be like, I just wanted everyone to know that
Yoda
probably got down.
I guess what I mean by that it is entirely possible that Yoda did. And we'll see. Maybe Yaddle's gonna be in Mandalorian season 3.
Hundreds of years of not boinking. He had to.
God.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had one character I wanted to bring up, just one, and it's very brief.
Go for it.
If we have time. And that is, do you guys remember Lobot? He's the bald guy who looks like he has a Sega Game Gear wrapped around his head.
Yes.
What was really funny is when I was looking into weird Star Wars characters, his story is that he got this cybernetics implanted, and then he got a job to do calculations. So basically, by getting this implant, he just became a calculator, but then it became sentient and took over his body.
Imagine losing your consciousness to a TI-83.
Exactly.
Yeah. So actually, I believe the story about Lobot is that his appearance in Empire Strikes Back, he's dead. He's a walking corpse.
Jesus Christ!
That just keeps going because
he's he's basically a computer that follows Lando around because Lando helped him in the past, something like that. Because those devices were made by the Empire. They he did it for the Empire to for battlefield
battle
control,
calculations, yeah,
battlefield calculations. So he worked for the Empire. He was one of those. It killed him. Lando saved him in some way, and that's why he's working with Lando. So I don't know if he's necessarily a weird character. He's just kind of a sad character.
That's horrifying. No, that's
I just thought it was
weird.
these implants seem like a good idea. It's
Hey, speaking of sad characters, I apologize if I'm getting ahead of ourselves a little bit here, but this is just the perfect segue. Uno in the chat pointed out a character that I want to bring up here. So, Return of the Jedi, right? Big fight takes place on Endor, that moon. It's a moon. It's not very big. So, did you know that if they had gone maybe a couple miles in any given direction, we would have run into Mount Sorrow, which is literally a mountain.
Yeah, perfect.
Oh!
Mount Sorrow. sentient mountain on Endor with crippling depression.
Now, hold on. It gets a little bit better because just because of the way that this wiki page is written. When you think about like the best things that you could possibly be, a mountain is obviously one of the best things ever, right? Well, keep that in mind because this sentence says, despite being a mountain, sorrow is in a constant state of depression, be it stern or sad.
Send him a Jedi.
Speaking of Jedi,
Yeah, you're happy.
Speaking of Jedi,
I'm trying to
You're
understand that
happy.
Speaking of
sentence.
Jedi, I have a perfect Jedi to send to Sad Mountain.
Okay.
Shaggy
I have
from
to get to
Scooby Doo. Let's
mine.
go ahead and bring up the Shaggy
Oh
one.
yeah,
Yes.
Shaggy
Shaggy.
from the Clone Wars micro series. What if Shaggy from Scooby Doo became a Jedi? It actually happened. The Kush is strong with this one. Why? Why not? Showed up in one chapter and was killed by General Grievous. Don't get much weirder than that.
I think he's also voiced by the same guy that's voicing General Grievous, who is Bender. I'm forgetting his name. John DiMaggio. I
Oh,
think they're both
John
people-
DiMaggio.
Whoa,
I think
hold
John
up.
DiMaggio
Oh,
voices both of them in that episode.
Yeah, he is in Clone Wars. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
John
the
DiMaggio, the guy.
yeah.
Okay, guys,
so
this is all. Oh, go on, Ben. Did you have one?
there is one that I know you want to talk about, Liam, and I want to talk about it as well. Let's go ahead and first, Chad, do you want to talk about?
I was about to. I
your
just
thing?
didn't want to delay you anymore. Yeah,
Yeah, let's do
just
that
real
first.
quick.
I'm gonna save
if you guys
mine
are
for
having a
last.
good time and would like to see something along the lines of this in person, you can at RTX, July 1st through 3rd in Austin, Texas, at the Austin Convention Center. You can head to rtxevent.com to pick up your tickets. If you're a little still like, I want to check like what's going on with COVID and stuff, don't worry, they're fully refundable. We've got tons of stuff to do. We're all very, 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 very excited about getting to see you guys in person again, because I miss it very, very much. So we've got a panel, we've got an autograph signing, and one thing that's super cool is we're pretty stoked about the fact that you guys have allowed us to cross 5 million subscribers on the Death Battle YouTube channel. And so we wanted to celebrate it. So we're trying to tie that into the rave that we do there. So we're going to have like a 5 million subscriber celebration at the rave at RTX. So if you're looking for something to do July 1st through 3rd in Austin, you should come say hi. We would love to see you. It's going to be a lot of fun. rtxevent.com. Go check it out.
All right, Liam, let's talk about him.
Let's talk about
Oh, this is ominous.
Trioculus. The
yeah.
there he is in all his glory. You can see why he's called Trioculus. But did you know that he's actually the son of Emperor Palpatine himself?
Really?
Well, not really. There was like a rumor that there was a secret prophesied son of Emperor Palpatine that had a third eye, and that this being would be incredibly important to the fate of the universe or the galaxy, and would inherit the Empire. And Trioculus was like, "That's me. Hey, everybody, that's me." And Trioculus was not actually technically the son of Emperor Palpatine. He was a science experiment created on the behest of Emperor Palpatine, where they basically kind of did a doomsday thing, where they like made this really fucked up malformed baby and then like ripped it apart and put it back together until it was like good, until it was like, oh, this is a baby. And the only weird fucked up thing about it was its third eye. And they were like, well,
We'll keep that.
We'll keep that. I'm done. We're just gonna make it worse if we try to fuck with it again. So they just left it there.
Hey, you don't know. Having 3 eyes could be like superior to having 2 eyes.
Well, as we'll see from our boy Trioculus, perhaps that is in fact the case. Trioculus was proclaimed the new emperor of the Empire, even though he was actually just a kind of puppet of the Grand Moffs, the Council of Moffs, or whatever the fuck it's called. And there was a prophecy that said that somebody brought up that was like, hang on, but there's other prophecy that says that the leader of the Empire will have the glove of Darth Vader as proof of their empireliness. And
How
he
would they
didn't
know that? Sorry.
And he didn't have that. So they like brought it up, and then he was like, fuck you. And then Brian, could you bring up that second image I sent you? He decided to say, I don't like it that you're questioning me, Mr. Man. So I'm gonna fucking kill you with force lightning, I guess. The wiki didn't really explain how he was able to do that. If it was actually
I
force
can explain
lightning.
that.
You can
I
explain
can
it.
explain
Okay,
that.
please.
Because
thank
I
you.
read these books as a kid. Yes, I did. Trioculus did not have force powers.
No.
But when he was announced to be the son of Palpatine, which he obviously wasn't, everybody was like, well, if he's the son of Palpatine, then he has the dark side, right? He needed to prove that he could use the dark side. So what he did, he had implants surgically added to his hands that could shoot lasers. So he would shoot lasers.
Horribly fuck his
at
hands
people.
up, right? Like,
Yes, actually, that's exactly what happened. Over time, his hands like started getting like deformed and whatnot. But that's what he would do. He would shoot lasers from his hands and be like, "Look, see, force lightning." And it started fucking him up. But fortunately, by that point, they had found the glove of Darth Vader.
And guess what? Trioculus, who found the glove of Darth Vader, he thought that the glove of Darth Vader was this weapon of unimaginable power. He thought that having it is what would give him the ability to choke people from a distance. Not realizing that it wasn't the fucking glove that did that. It was Darth Vader's force. So he got it and was like, well, this is a piece of shit. He was very, very upset about that. And he like made modifications to it, like the lasers thing, to make him be able to like force choke people from a distance. But then that started to fuck him up even more. And it was a disaster. At some point, he was trying to capture this guy or whatever who was on Yavin 4. But he couldn't find him. He was in the lost city of the Jedi. I don't know what that is, but he was trying to find him there. So his solution was, okay, I can't find you, so I'm just going to burn down Yavin 4. I'm gonna burn it all down. And he failed at burning all of it down. And swore vengeance on the New Republic, except for one person, Princess Leia, because the first time he laid eyes on Princess Leia, he fell madly in love. And
of course he did.
Yeah, he captured her. Oh, sorry. No. He captured her, and then was like, and then Jabba the Hutt's dad, Zorba the Hutt.
God, this book was so bad.
What's so
Zorba the Hutt
intricate?
shows up and
It's
is
so
like, I want
intricate.
to kill Leia because Leia was involved in the death of my beloved son. And he's like, no, I'm not going to do that. I love Leia. So then he captured Trioculus and then froze him in carbonite and then stuck him in a museum. Except no, actually, the Trioculus carbonite, the carbonite Trioculus that was not in a museum, it was like a fake. And then they unfroze the real Trioculus, who then got revenge on Zorba, captured Zorba, and threw him into the Sarlacc as revenge, and then was going to marry Princess Leia. But Luke and company had a plan to save Leia from the marriage to Trioculus. They snuck in a
Is this
droid.
guy fucking like Bowser? What is
Hang on,
this?
hang on. It's almost- yes,
They
it is that
snuck
era,
in-
right?
Yeah.
It's the same reason why Shredder wanted to marry April, Bowser wanted to marry.
Right.
And
Yeah, that kind of
Brian,
thing.
get that third image ready, because this one's a doozy, and I'll cue you. You'll know. They snuck in a droid decoy of Leia. They like saved Leia. They beat up the people that were guarding her, and they replaced her. And Trioculus was like, "I'm gonna marry you," and they're having the marriage.
They're at
and,
the altar.
They're at the altar, and then the droid turns to Trioculus and fucking kills him with laser vision. Brian, he knows what that is.
I love how the priest, also his
Yeah.
epaulets have goth spikes, but the priest is like just in a floaty guy.
MODOK?
Like, yeah, MODOK, yeah.
I think
in
that guy
like
had lost his legs at this point, right?
Cyborg
Hiscus or whatever his name
Leia
is.
has the
so?
thorniest looking flowers.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
like
weird. That should have
there's
been the
this whole-
tip off.
There's this whole thing during this book series where they're like worshiping the dark side, and it's very like, what is the dark side? They're trying to piece it together, and none of them know what it is. It's an
They
embarrassing
didn't get the
story.
memo. on
That
what the
story
dark
sounds
side
like they
is.
took like a handful
It's
of
not-
Star Wars keywords and threw it against the wall
You
and then
want
just
more
wrote around it.
keywords?
Yeah,
You
you
want
want
more
more
keywords because it's
keywords?
not done. So the
It's not
reason
done.
why Trioculus,
Oh,
the reason why
God.
Trioculus was proclaimed to be the son of Palpatine, was because of that rumor, right? There was a rumor that Palpatine had a son, and that son did have 3 eyes. Well, it wasn't a rumor; it was true. Palpatine had a
What?
3-eyed son named Triclops.
Who was not
Isn't that the
thing, though.
He-Man character?
Here's the thing, though. Triclops you wouldn't know has a third eye because he's just like a normal looking guy. His third eye is not on the top of his head like Trioculus.
Tell me it's on his wiener.
It's back here. It's in the back of his head.
It's a Voldemort.
It's
He actually
weird.
just looks like Palpatine. He just looks like
Also,
Palpatine.
we don't need to talk about Triclops too much because he doesn't get too involved. But basically, Palpatine, I guess, did a lot of dark side experiments on him, turned him completely insane. But they used this insanity to plan super weapons. So it's kind of implied that the original plans for the Death Star in this era were created by Triclops, a three-eyed son of Palpatine locked up in a cell somewhere. And then he also came up with the Darksaber and the Suncrusher and things like that.
I was right. Triclops is a He-Man character, so.
I also...
Yes, he's got the, like, spinning eye thing.
I like this Vader's glove thing. Like,
it's bad.
This guy, Trioculus, who at the time obviously has quite a bit of sway in the Empire, can't just talk to the guy that made the original one. And B, like everybody in the world's such an expert they'll know if it's Vader's glove. Like you can't find a cosplayer to jiffy you one up really quick. Like
it's special. It
who's
has
gonna
like a
authenticate it? Be like,
it has like a
the
Sith
real Vader
amulet
glove, like
inside of it, and it's like Mandalorian iron. There is reason to believe that it is a very like unique.
Liam pushes up glasses.
It is, yeah. It was such a I was
right.
internally cringing as I started talking. I just can't help
we do need to move on to other things. But yes, Dude Blade X, Triclops is Rey's father. In this canon. Trioculus is hilarious. He's ridiculous. He's definitely my vote for the weirdest character, I think.
Why wasn't Triclops in the sequel trilogy? I wonder why.
I do want to give a shout out though to a group of characters that isn't. I don't know if they're necessarily weird. Yeah, they're weird. Brian, let's go ahead and bring up that image of the band from Jabba's palace. This is Max Rebo and the Jizz Whalers.
Yep.
Jizz
Oh my
Whalers. Yeah.
Also,
yeah.
a little bit of info on Max Rebo here, the little blue elephant with the like straws for hand.
You're
for
talking
fingers.
about the special, aren't you?
The what?
He played in the Christmas special.
I think he was in the Christmas. I don't think he was in the Christmas special.
I'm pretty sure.
Hang on.
Chat's memory.
He's been in. He was on Jabba's sail barge when it exploded, and everybody assumed he died. Right? Like, oh no, Max Rebo died. In Legends, they brought him back because people liked his design. I guess I don't know. He's a little cute elephant man with straws for fingers. But in the Disney canon, he died until he showed back up again in the Boba Fett series. He was playing on Tatooine, and then that cantina also exploded. So presumably he survived that as well.
Wait, how do you know it was the same one? Because as we've established, Star Wars has a history.
As Max Rebo.
Really? Okay, because I was going to say Star Wars has a history of just casting entire races of aliens as only one thing, like the Hutts.
I mean,
They're
there might
all
be multiple
gangsters,
Max
right?
Rebos. That's entirely possible.
Yeah.
But yes,
they're all
Jizz,
wailing
yes, you're
Jizz.
right, Bruno. Jizz is the genre of music that they play.
Oh, no.
It's like jazz, but different.
I literally think George came up with that and just went, well, it's kind of jazzy.
No.
How about jizz? And then didn't know that jizz was already a word.
Probably.
I would be
Or just didn't
willing
think
to
about
bet.
it. Look, he's stressed.
Which
He's
is
working on a
impossible.
lot of stuff. That was also the third movie, right? Like, he's stressed at the time. There's a lot going on. I
Yeah,
can totally
his
see him being like,
divorce.
yeah,
Yeah.
just call it Jizz, move on. And then 3 days later, he's like, oh, God, I really shouldn't have said that.
He
But it's
didn't even
already
direct
there.
it, though. He only directed
Any
the first
other
one.
vowel.
He
Literally
basically
any
directed
other
that one.
vowel.
All right. We need to lock this down. All right, so
I don't know, I
we do
wouldn't
need
put a
4
U.
characters for the chat to
Ernie.
vote on. So let's decide among the 5 of us which
Trioculus.
4 is going to be there. I think
Trioculus.
Trioculus
I mean,
should be on there.
Trioculus is a fucking shoe-in. There's no questions about that.
Is it Trioculus or the other one?
Trioculus. Triclops is the one we didn't really talk about that much.
Yeah.
The one
Yeah,
that's
Trioculus-
there's not really a whole lot to talk about with Triclops.
Yeah.
Jar Binks, I think, deserves a C.
Mount Sorrow for
Mount
my
Sorrow's
Maybe
pretty
Mount
good.
Sorrow.
I think
Yeah.
Mount Sorrow is pretty good. I'll
Yeah,
send
vote
these
for
to
that
you,
one.
Brian.
The sentient
Or-
mountain with
or Scott.
depression.
So we need one more.
Even though he's a mountain,
we-
he's got it made. He's sad.
Chat, what do you guys think? So we got Trioculus, Jar Binks, Mount Sorrow, and then we've got the names that we've looked at are
William
Shaggy,
Yeah. William throws out Shaggy.
Shaggy is not
Yaddle.
that weird.
Sleaze Begano, Any of the, we could just say Buff Hutts as one,
Buff
which is
Hutts.
pretty good.
Yeah,
we
all
didn't
Hutts.
we didn't
Zorba,
talk about them.
Buko.
Chewbacca's family from the
yeah.
Christmas special is also super weird.
Itchy and
We-
Lumpy
there's-
and Mala.
Itchy,
Mala.
Lumpy,
Weird.
and Mala. Yeah, these weirdos.
Where's Grandpa's hands?
Is that official art,
Itchy
by
in
the way?
particular is very bizarre because he watches porn in the living room.
She was listening to Jizz.
So I'm on board for putting them on it.
Yeah.
But what do you guys
Yeah.
think?
I think that's
we're
a
just
good
dropping
list so
them on.
far.
All right.
Just drop them all. Just
I see quite a bit of Buff Hut. To be
I also
fair.
but I'm also seeing a lot of Shaggy.
we could do Shaggy.
Yeah,
just don't think
that's
Shaggy's
fine. Throw
that
Shaggy on the poll. It is very
Shaggy
weird.
is intentionally Shaggy, right? Like
Yeah.
they intentionally designed him to look like Shaggy.
Yeah, yeah.
And I
yeah.
think
mean,
that
it's-
I
And
think
then
that
they
by
named him
himself
Shaggy.
yeah.
is
Which is-
a great reason to put him there. So we'll do
Well, I
these
will
four.
say
All right.
when we first got put under Warner Media, and they were like, they're like, hey, if you want to do something with Scooby Doo, just let us know. We let Scooby Doo do
Scott, let's
pretty
go
much
and bring that poll
crossovers
up.
to anything.
Yeah. I would love to do that.
And
Yep.
I've been trying for years now.
I would love
It was
to
a
do
lie.
I pitched a really
Scooby
dark
versus
skit.
Courage.
All right, so we're gonna get a poll up in just a little bit. We do need to get this vote in real fast. But Trioculus, George R. Binks, Mount Sorrow, and Shaggy are gonna be our four contenders. I do think Buff Hut and Chewbacca's family are good runner-ups.
And
But these yes. But of these four, all right, the poll is up in the chat. Go ahead and let us know who you think it should be. We'll give you a couple minutes for that. Among us, among you guys, what would you vote for? Our vote's not going to count. It's this one, but I just want to see what you guys are thinking. I think Trioculus is my pick.
yeah, I'm biased. I gotta go Trioculus. It's insane. And the fact
As
that
one
I
of
read
fu-
that it ended
But
with
George R. Binks is also a really
But it's
Just
it's just one issue. Imagine
Yeah.
every piece of media you're in is a George R. Binks, and that's Trioculus.
Trioculus was like, it came out I think right before they did the Shadow of the Empire and Thrawn trilogy, which is what kind of like revitalized the expanding
So,
universe.
It was like in the
so
darkest hour of.
It was
of
like an
the
attempt
expanded
to
universe.
do Thrawn before Thrawn,
Oh
right? Because it's
no, like
basically the
lame
same
Thrawn.
plot at first.
Yeah, it is
Like
basically.
a secret like member of the higher ups shows up and is like, I'm going to
Yeah.
take over, and they unite the Empire under him. But instead of Thrawn almost, completely derailing the New Republic, it just goes to shit immediately.
He looks like Thrawn too, like just minus the eye
little
and skin
bit,
color.
yeah.
He has the same hairstyle and like the same like square face. That's that's so fucking interesting, actually. Wow, he's like dipshit Thrawn.
As funny as Trioculus is with the like bumbling, fumbling story that just never works out, I gotta go. I think I'm gonna go with Mount Sorrow because I feel like the writer watched Never-Ending Story and saw the rock biter and was like, "What if I made that in Star Wars?"
I
And
mean,
it's a
the
mountain.
Ewoks-
With...
show or whatever it was is like a kid's fantasy show or something like that, which is really
Yeah.
funny when you consider that eventually like chunks of the Death Star, I believe, like when it blew up, rained down on Endor because it was nearby and like killed like all the Ewoks. Like it just wiped them all out.
Oh no!
This happened, and it's like pictures of Ewoks like running and like fire falling from the sky.
I like Mount Sorrow just because I'll never be able to watch like the Battle of Endor without just like thinking every mountain peak is my guy. Like, that's my boy, right? Like,
This is the mountain in the back of one shot. It's like, is that him? Is that him?
yeah.
Like I have to say Mount Sorrow as well. Especially, it gets even weirder because now that I read the other 5 sentences on this wiki page, it cries healing tears. Like,
Oh wow!
Oh, that's why the
there's,
Jedi
there's
don't
reason
fix
to
it.
keep it depressed.
Oh wow!
That's-
They're
Like,
you fucking asshole mountain, we
it's
hate you.
just-
Yeah.
So that's why Obi-Wan hasn't come up to Mount Sorrow and mind tricked him out of depression.
exactly.
Is what I'm
Yeah.
I'm hearing.
presumably.
Hey, Mount Sorrow,
Oh
you
my
know what's
God.
great? Moving around, you asshole. Yeah, give me those tears. Like, you know, like,
All right, let's go ahead and wrap up the poll and see which of these four is the weirdest Star Wars character of all time. I think
By
any
the way,
four of them
there's
could
a
totally fit.
lot
It'd be
more than
great.
5 sentences on this mountain.
Oh,
Oh,
Oh, shit.
look at
Oh,
that.
Wait, do we have a
Oh,
tie?
no, wait, it was
Oh.
Mount Sorrow was in the lead at 31%. Trioculus came in. Oh no, they both
Oh.
dropped down to 30.
Oh!
Come on, y'all. Get your
No,
votes
that's
in and watch
it. That's
We
it.
gotta-
It is a tie
Trioculus.
between Trioculus and Mount Sorrow.
Yeah.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
We should do a death battle
Um,
between Trioculus and Mount Sorrow.
All right, that's it.
I
That's
think
it.
Mount Sorrow
I
would
guess
want to lose.
for the first
I'm
time, we
so
do not have a concrete answer.
It ends at 29% even.
That's
Man.
amazing. That is amazing.
Wow,
with
that's
Jar
exciting.
Binks getting 24% and Shaggy getting 15%.
Yeah.
What a weird way to end a
What a
weird
wild one.
community death battle. All right, so we're gonna play the sneak peek for Hercules versus Sun Wukong at the end here as well, just in case anybody tuned in late. Again, that is going to be debuting this weekend, this Sunday for first members, then the upcoming Monday on YouTube. Please check it out. We're very proud of how this has turned out. I'm excited to hear what you all think of it. Thank you all for joining us for this very bizarre episode of Death Battle Cast. Let us know if you want us to do something like this in the future for another franchise or whatever. And as always, be kind to others, be kind to yourself, be awesome. We'll see you next week.
Oh, no. If
See you
Trioculus is at
guys.
mountain level, he loses.
Toodaloo.
Our tale begins atop a great mountain where the mighty Hercules sought a gift from the gods.
Oh there.
Huh?
I'm in need of that apple. Relinquish it.
Sorry, I'm supposed to find my master some vegetarian food.
You'll find it elsewhere.
But Heracles was not so easily fooled. The Monkey King's strike rang true, but he'd not so easily overwhelm the god of strength.